Right now?
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the DNVR Nuggets podcast.
Let's go!
Live from studio here at DNVR HQ, live above the DNVR bar, the single greatest bar in all of Denver. Some say the greatest building in all of Denver. Do you know that this bar used to be this intersection used to be the gateway to Colorado? This is where you arrived into Denver.
It sure looks like it now.
I mean, construction, that is kind of a theme of the state. So
Yeah.
kind of getting that out and there in the open.
It's so true. Now it's just the armpit of Colorado.
Right,
But at one
yeah.
point, it was the entry. Guys, we are presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use the code DNVR365. Choose your offer. Find out why. Whatever the moment. Never ordinary at Bet365. Great show for you lined up. If you're a Nuggets fan, you're in the right place. We do this 5 times a week. Every pre- and post-game show. Off-day shows as well. Because it's always fun talking about the Nuggets. Today, we're going to give some hangover takes and some thoughts about what I feel like the question we're still wondering about the Denver Nuggets. We'll talk about that today. We're going to talk about the best. You put this out. Nuggets have the best offensive lineup in NBA history.
Well, maybe.
Maybe they do.
Through 24 games.
Which is a big caveat.
I think I got a cool wind chime for you guys, though, coming up.
Ooh, a little wind
Very
chime.
excited for that.
We're also going to have Tim Cato, our ALLCITY national NBA writer. He wrote a thing that he found a stat. You know, there's all these outlier stats for the Nuggets. They're a very weird team. There's one that I think is especially interesting. Cato's going to talk about the stat, but I have a reason I think it's very interesting. We'll get to that later on. And then, you guys, Jokmas is upon us. And I thought, how better to celebrate than some white elephant gifts?
Oh,
What a treat.
I didn't bring a gift.
That doesn't matter. I brought gifts for the whole crew.
Oh, wow. That's great. That's how it works. You give everyone gifts.
And they're white elephant gifts. You don't even want them. Or maybe you do. But we're going to start with some hangover takes. Hop in the chat, by the way, the Toyota chat, and talk to all your other Nuggets fans. We're going to do a little hangover here. No hangover today, man. Sometimes it's like that great night when you drink really hard and you're like, I'm going to pay for this in the morning, and you wake up feeling great.
Feeling great. That's when you're still drunk, but I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Well, that's what this one is, because the Nuggets are just absolutely sunshine and rainbows yesterday. I'm not sure I really even have hangover takes other than the one that we talked about yesterday, which when I woke up today, this is what I was thinking about. The Nuggets are great in disguise. Mm-hmm. They haven't had the toughest schedule, and even last night you could say whatever, but man, the ease with which they do the thing they're great at, and the way that nobody yet has been able to stop them, knock on wood, nobody's stopped this offense. And then it's like, yeah, but when they're rested, they play just a little bit of defense, and then they kill teams. The Nuggets are really good. Last night was one of those ones where if you just watched that game, you'd be like, well, that team's awesome, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, 136 points, and it was pretty easy, too. Nikola Jokic missed 2 shots the entire game.
I remember that.
Only 29 minutes. I think he got fouled on both those shots. I actually went back and looked last night.
Really?
Should've made
He
him
actually
too.
called for on one of them. He was like really adamant.
I mean, for sure. And it was just a dominant performance. Jamal Murray didn't have to do anything in the second half. And how they just keep doing it with this lineup with Spencer Jones and Peyton Watson is pretty mind-blowing, man. The Kings don't have a great defense. We know that. But the ease at which the Nuggets are scoring, it's at such a different level even from last season when they had another great offense.
Right.
It's leveled up. The bench has a lot to do with that too. But the level of ease, they get great looks every single time down the floor is unbelievable.
I agree. Adam just did the studio equivalent of putting 2 straws in your mouth and saying you're a walrus. Very funny,
What are you,
dude.
I
5?
can lean back in my chair. You see this?
Everyone's 12
going on
theory
here?
strikes again.
This is blowing Adam's mind.
Yeah, when you,
I think you're still drunk, actually.
yeah, this
You know
is
what?
a
Maybe
real.
that is what it is.
I mean, Wind, you're right. They walked into 136 points on the road last night. One of their starters shot 1 time. They did not score for the first 2 minutes of the game, and it was just kind of Jamal Murray, who's on track to possibly be an all-star this year, shot 30% from the field, 136 points. It's harder for them not to score 120 points than it is for them to eclipse that mark.
Yeah. And I think, honestly, it's just really one of these throwaway games.
It's a game we're not going to remember.
Probably not. There's nothing that's like that crazy about it. But what I do just think is the season, we are in chapter 3. You guys know this.
Okay.
That first chapter was they look like a juggernaut, didn't play a whole lot of teams, and it culminated with the Rockets where you're like, okay, there it is. There's the good team. They beat Minnesota, which I think is important, but they beat the Rockets on the road shorthanded, and you're like, okay, now I know they're good. And no sooner did you say that, chapter 2 begins. And chapter 2 was, but we're going to lose to the Kings, we're going to lose to the Bulls, we're going to lose to some of these teams. And you look at it and go, okay, are they serious? What's the deal? I think now that we're sort of through it, we can probably say with some confidence that it's fatigue and focus to some degree. And the team maybe has, and Jokic in particular, has this thing about how much energy he needs to save versus spend on a night-to-night basis. And unlike Oklahoma City, Denver's going to drop some games from time to time. Yep. But focus versus focus, I just feel like the Nuggets are in the top tier. Mid-focus, fatigue, whatever, they're not going to be there. But strength versus strength, I think the Nuggets are tier 1, even with those Thunder.
I mean, they are the challengers, right? Like if you had to pick right now a team that honestly could give the Thunder a series worth watching or that's compelling, I think you would have to start with Denver.
The pods are saying it too, by the way. I was listening to the pods.
I mean, they've got the 3rd best record in the league, despite an extended stretch now without 2 important players and even a depth piece in Strother. They have the best offense in the league, on track to be possibly the best offense of all time. They have the best player in the world who's playing better than ever, and they have a franchise point guard who looks like a regular season second star for the first time ever. On top of all of that, they all left last season saying, what do we need to do? Get deeper. They've done it. Yeah. So I think it's valid to throw them out there. If you had to pick a challenger, I think you start with Denver.
They also just mature. I mean, Yoke keeps using professional, but I feel like the Nuggets are neither impressed with their success nor concerned with their failures. Like they just seem like a team that knows exactly what they are and what they have to do to get there, and they're just taking it a day at a time, which is a great sign. Let me give you what I think is the most important things we know about the Nuggets so far.
Sure.
They had a 9-game win streak. That means something. Was it a 10-game? No. We want that 10-game. We're never going to get it.
I don't even want it anymore. I'm done with it.
But a 9-game win streak means something this early in the year for you to string games together. That's where we really know, like, okay, the Nuggets can be professional, and they were professional in that stretch by winning. I think that's something we know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. There was a quote I practiced. It might have been P-Wad or Spencer or Cam, where they were surprised or something to learn that it was the best start in franchise history.
It was
because
Watson.
It doesn't seem like they're that impressed with how they're playing right now.
I think they're also unimpressed with the franchise's history a little bit. By the way, as Jeff Martin points out, it is an NBA record, not a franchise record.
Very important.
The ABA, the Nuggets were awesome. Yeah. Nuggets were awesome in the ABA.
Yeah.
For whatever it's worth. 9-game win streak. I think the other thing we know about them is that they have wins over Minnesota 2 times, Houston, Phoenix 2 times. The first Phoenix game, I think, was not an impressive win. Phoenix, they didn't have Colin Gillespie really breaking out yet. Yeah. They weren't who they were. But the Suns, when they beat them that second time on a second night of back-to-back, that was a good win. I think what stands out as I say this is, yes, those are all good wins. Minnesota 2 times, Houston, and then this one. But also, that was it. I was trying to add other games to the list, and I'm not sure there is a single other game on the list where I'm like, yeah, that's a good win.
Nope.
Something to take note of.
For sure. The good news is they have a lot of opportunities for those good wins coming up.
That's true.
Houston twice.
Yeah.
In these next few games, or both those are going to be real tests.
Orlando in between is pretty good, you know, so they have some. But when you hear that, it's great that they have those because they don't really have bad losses. I mean, they have bad losses to bad teams, but it's not like they have a loss against a team where you're like, man, I'm not sure we're better than them.
Isn't that kind of a Nuggets trait over the years, and maybe especially so this year? You know, I'm almost like, oh, they lost 4 in a row at home. Who did they lose to? Depending on how you feel about the Spurs, you know, all games they easily should have won, especially when you factor in their leads. I almost feel better about this team playing other good teams. I really do. I know that's kind of a joke or a cliche. Yeah, but it's they you know, this is ultimately something I think they need to shore up as a group in terms of not playing down. But when they're razor sharp, when they're engaged, when they feel like this game means something, you know, they're at least running with every team, and they've got a chance to win those games. So I'm excited to see them get these tests because I think it's going to ask them to play their best basketball yet.
Their next 3 games are Houston, Orlando, Houston. If they win those 3, is that more impressive than their Minnesota, Houston, Phoenix run? Like, these next 3 games would actually all probably count for their best wins of the year, or at least in that conversation.
Well, for sure, and they'd be doing it without 2 starters too. Yeah. I mean, that'd be extremely impressive. if they're able to go 3-0 over these next 3. They also beat the Heat earlier in the season.
Yeah, the
pretty
Heat
easily. The Heat, who nobody could stop talking about on the pods for this Noah LaRoche offense, the only assistant coach in the league, his name. Now the Heat are like in the East playing after losing 4 in a row. But that win looked good for a couple weeks.
Well, some of this is that did Denver start the trend? No, they won 3 games right after that. And then they started to slide more recently. It's a good win. I just don't know if I'm not going to count that as a great win. It's a good win.
Dude, everybody loves talking about the Heat offense, though.
Well, it's because it's so unique. I get it, man. It's something unique. Here's another one vote that I think is important. The comeback versus Atlanta means something.
Of course.
Because that was a loss by their own doing. We were pissed off at them. But the ability to come back, and after the game, Jamal, everybody talking about, we're just resilient. Like we're professional. We do all this stuff. That was proof of that. You're on the road. You have every reason to say, it wasn't our night. And instead they come back and get a win. Yeah, I'm counting that one.
And to preserve like a road win streak, right? You could easily kind of look at it and been like, well, we sort of done our job on the road. This is a tough break. And that's what teams who don't have championship mentalities do. And it was a turning of the tables, right? They had blown those leads at home. And so then to kind of flip it and go out on the road against a team that was thermonuclear, right? They were so hot in that first half, partly Denver's doing. But to weather that and then look at each other and come out in the second half and say, let's go get a dub, that does show something. And, the Nuggets originally, as a group on the come up, they showed a lot of grit and resilience. They've kind of grown into this group that at times I think people feel like they are maybe a little too confident or they take their foot off the gas, But they were founded on this kind of gritty resistance stuff. And I think working that back into the fold is exciting. And specifically, the point Murray made after that game, or that you were just outlining, they have a lot of veterans now, and it just has made a difference, I think, in the overall maturity in terms of how they handle those circumstances.
I think I'm going to give you 2 things that we don't know, and then one more thing we do know. I don't think we know if they can be consistent on defense. I think that their peak on defense is probably good. We've always thought this about the Nuggets, but can they be consistent? I mean, right now, do we know that they can be a top 10 defense this season? We don't know. I think they're good enough to, but I don't know if they will be. Probably
I don't
not.
think they're going to be.
And so that's the thing we don't know quite yet. And then the last thing, how do they match up versus OKC? Unfortunately, we're going to have to wait forever for that. But I'd even throw the Lakers in there. I'd throw Houston in there. They beat them one time. That's great.
That's one game, yeah.
But we don't really know. And the whole season really comes down to those questions. San Antonio, Houston, LA, OKC. How do you match up against them? We don't know yet.
Yeah. And I mean, just thinking forward to those, like especially the OKC games and the inevitable playoff series that we're going to have against them coming up later this year. I think it really could just come down to health. I really think so. I mean, that's what a lot of playoff series come down to. Even if you look at the finals last year. Who was the healthier team come game 7? They won. But, if the Nuggets are healthy, if they have all their guys, they've got a shot. They absolutely do. But
maybe more than a shot. And that's my point is OKC, for as much of a juggernaut they are, one of the differences between Denver and OKC is OKC beats Chicago by 30 at home. Denver, 50-50. You never know what kind of motivation you're going to get. But it is possible that Denver's ceiling, 22 out of 24 games having a 12-point lead.
Right. That's
ceiling stuff that OKC is the only one doing. Denver's also doing it.
Yep.
And just maybe you play that one. And right now, I don't know how it matches up. Last year was so weird. Denver didn't have the horses they have now.
And on the surface level, if you look at, okay, this is once again an historically elite defense. How do you compete with that? Well, step one is probably having the best offense of all time. That helps. You know what I mean? Because the Thunder are going to mire you down.
Yeah.
They are going to prevent you from running your absolute preferred offense at times. Thankfully, this is a team that, as we've outlined, has a lot of different ways to score. That kind of matchup will come down to the things that Jokic has grown so fond of acknowledging and talking about: professionalism, details, execution. When he talks that way, it kind of makes me think like he knows that they're in a tier of contention. And then the difference between, a second round exit or making it all the way and winning can really come down to, health and stuff like that. But also just, are we executing? Because if we are, we're going to score a lot of points. And if we're executing on defense, we've got a chance to beat anyone.
Well, you mentioned the offense, and that's the other thing we know. We know that the Nuggets' offense is unfreaking believable. Even by their own standards, it is better. It's underappreciated how much better it is because we point out the guys who haven't been great. CB, Cam's missed some shots, although his numbers are actually fine on like a percentage basis, but we know that we notice those things, they stick out. But what doesn't stick out every time is, but you realize they just score every time down the court. That's like kind of the point.
Yep.
And on that note, they might have the greatest 5-man lineup of all time.
Whoa.
According to one Harrison Wind.
I know that guy.
We'll talk about that on the other side.
Shout out to our friends over at Strawberry Fields. They have locations all across the state: Denver, Pueblo, Trinidad, Downeyville. That's on the side of I-70 going to the mountains. That's where you can find Strawberry Fields. You can also find them online, strawberryfieldscannabis.com. Check out their online menu, payment options to skip the line, get in, get out fast, or get straight back to your couch even faster. They carry a huge range of products. They've got premium flower. They've got vaporizers, edibles, infused drinks, tinctures, concentrates, topicals, you name it, and their bud tenders know their stuff. They're great at helping you find exactly what you came in there looking for. They have a lot of deals going on, but right now you can use code DNVR at strawberryfieldscannabis.com. Get 25% off your entire purchase from now until 2026 with that code DNVR. More info at strawberryfieldscannabis.com. Must be 21 plus with a valid ID to purchase. Again, use code DNVR. Get 25% off your entire purchase from now until 2026. Also, shout out to Ent Credit Union. You've heard us talk about Ent Credit Union and their Broncos checking product and all the awesome perks that come with it, like game day discounts at Empower Field, the chance to win Broncos tickets, exclusive merch. There's much more too. Well, now they're piling on even more perks. For those who are interested in signing up, they're giving you $200. Yep, $200 will be dropped right into your account after meeting just a few easy requirements. The debit cards that come with it, absolute fire. You can rock a Broncos branded one, a Bo Nix one, or the PS2 throwback card that's available at all service centers starting December 1st. That's right now. They're almost like collectibles. So with the playoff push heating up, now is the time to lock it down. The perks, the card, the $200. If you're ready to bank like a Bronco, head over to ent.com, ent.com/DNVR to learn more. Insured by NCUA, membership required. Account requires associated Ent Broncos debit card, requires a $100 deposit and activation of debit card within 30 days of account opening.
I don't know. All right, back here, segment 2. Make sure you hit that like button. Get in the chat too. Hop in the chat. Start talking to your fellow Nuggets fans about what we're talking about. What we're talking about right now is the greatest offensive lineup in NBA history. 5-man lineup, according to Harrison Wind.
It's got to be those Warriors, right? The Golden State Warriors with Steph and KD.
It's not, although they're in the top 5. But
Okay.
guys, we might have the greatest offensive 5-man lineup in NBA history right now, starting for the Denver Nuggets. And that includes Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray,
of course.
Cam Johnson,
Yeah.
Peyton Watson, and Spencer Jones.
Wait, hang on.
what?
Did you say Spencer Jones?
Those 5 guys in 137 minutes so far this season have a 139 offensive rating.
It's crazy.
That is the best offensive rating out of any 5-man lineup that's played over 100 minutes together so far this year. And if you look at that number historically, that 139 offensive rating historically, it was the best offensive rating I could find for a 5-man lineup that's played over 100 minutes together, dating back to 2007.
Wow.
That's as far as NBA.com goes back.
Even better than the lineup with Dante DiVincenzo.
Yes, even better than that one.
Hell yeah, dude.
A 139 rating.
We'll do it live.
Sorry.
On the offensive side of the floor in 137 minutes. It's better than the death lineup of Golden State in 2015 that had a 135 offensive rating in 172 minutes.
That's crazy.
So the 100-minute mark, it's not even like something that is putting this lineup in rare air or anything. That's what some of these lineups play, but they're doing it with, yes, the greatest offensive player of all time, a true number 2 option, all-star talent this year in Jamal Murray, Cam Johnson, good shooter, really high IQ player, really fits into the offense. But then they're also doing it with Peyton Watson, a guy who most people would say is a better defensive player than offensive player, and two-way player Spencer Jones, who nobody would say is a plus offensive player. 139 offensive rating in a big sample size of 137 minutes is absolutely crazy. And dating back to 2007, no lineup that's played over 100 minutes together has done it better.
So, a couple caveats here. Most lineups that put up numbers like this end up playing way more than 100 minutes, as this lineup will eventually, and I think that number comes down. So, Denver's in that sweet spot where they're right above, or this lineup is right above the threshold that you made, and also just like really hot. But I suspect even that number will fall some, but probably not that much. And here's the thing. Now we think about the lineup and what it actually means. Peyton Watson makes sense to me. He adds a length and athleticism and he's doing a lot of the things CB is doing, and CB even has his strengths and weaknesses on offense, that I could see that those two guys are equals, just in different ways. CB may be a little bit better at this, but Peyton Watson brings an athleticism. Spencer Jones to me is the one, and it's no knock on him. He's been knocking down that three-point shot when he gets it, but he's also not shooting or scoring or touching the ball very much. I just look at it and go, what does that look like if that's Aaron Gordon instead of Spencer? I think if you said CB or somebody else, even KCP instead of Peyton Watson, I don't know. There might be something to Peyton Watson. But I do look at the Spencer Jones piece and say he's done everything you've wanted for him. This is no knock on him, but AG would do that and more. And that's what makes me think that there's some gas behind this.
Easy to forget now, but Aaron Gordon was also off to a career best start. He was scoring more than ever. He was more efficient than ever. He was actually shooting better from three than he did last year. I mean, Gordon was looking incredible. So, yes, there is credence to that. As far as Spencer Jones for now, he's kind of like, teams are treating him like Torrey Craig, except Spencer Jones can shoot and finish at the rim. So, you look at that game they lost to Dallas, which obviously should have been a win. He scores 28 points. Like, this is a guy that if you just ignore him, he's not actually useless offensively. Teams are going to maybe try to treat him that way. And then there's games like last night where everyone else has it going and he's totally fine not touching the rock and doing his job. But yes, you have a higher ceiling with Aaron Gordon in there. With Peyton's shooting 39% from three right now, right? Christian wasn't shooting that well to start the year. He's figured out how to score in those split actions.
True. It might be just the differences if CB made his shots, that lineup would also be up here.
And teams are leaving him wide open still, and he's grown very comfortable, mostly from the corners. He hit a couple from above the break last night. I also think he's a guy who, as adventurous as it can get when he drives, he's got a little playmaking ability, and he's figured out how to score off the split actions, which was Christian's bread and butter. So, this year, just talking this year, Watson has really been a significant upgrade over Christian Brown. So that part of it checks out.
Yeah. Here's the other thing I was thinking about. I think there are lineups like Steph Curry, as great as he is, one of the greatest players ever. The Death lineup was kind of a perfect lineup. Like if you were building a lineup around his skill set, that was pretty close for that era for what a perfect lineup would have been. I don't feel like Yoke's ever had a perfect lineup, although I do think the championship season was pretty close. You're talking about pretty close to perfect that year. But I look at it and I go, okay, Murray, Yoke, AG, near perfect. Yep. Cam, I think, is a bit underrated in his fit, but you can even imagine an equal value player, a Trey Murphy, being in that spot. Maybe it's just the same or better or whatever. And then I do think even the CB1/PWatt, it's easy to envision a mold of like, okay, so athleticism and some defense and a guy that just screens and cuts. There's players that do that at a higher level offensively, maybe not defensively, but offensively. And so I look at it and go, I think this is kind of what it looks like to optimize around Yoke.
I think you could say KCP was pretty close to a perfect fit in that lineup as well.
Corner shooting
for that spot and what they needed and his IQ and the role he played.
But there's not that much creation from him. You know what I mean? Like
there's not that much creation from PWatt.
But it's just I just feel like it's a little bit, maybe you're right. Yeah. He just basically KCP would get the pin down pull-up jumper.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like you were running space the floor, but it wasn't like you were running a ton of action. And I can envision a player that could do a little bit of both.
Yeah, but the thing is with PWatt and Spencer Jones and Cam, like you have length, you have switchability, like those guys can all play multiple positions in different roles. So just the variance of the offense is probably a little higher. The unpredictability is probably a little higher. With that, going back to the championship lineup, they kind of ran the same plays and they all worked, but the defense kind of knew what was coming, even though they couldn't stop it. I really wonder if with this lineup and this year's version of the team, the defense doesn't always know what's coming, more than in 2023.
Yeah. Was there another piece of the wind chime here, or is it the stat?
It's the stat 139 offensive rating.
That's insane. 140. We'll round up. 140 is crazy. 1.4 points every time down the court.
Yep. And no lineup that's played over 100 minutes has eclipsed that mark going back to 2007.
It does kind of feel like it, though. I mean, it feels like they score 135 points every game.
You're right.
Part of it is arguably the greatest offensive engine of all time has never been better, and he also right now has a second star. Right?
It might actually be as simple as that.
Just because we knew in the playoffs and in the bubble, wow, when Jokic and Murray are both playing well, good luck. And right now, as far as the regular season, they've never played better at the same time as they are right now, and so that makes them just really hard to beat. I also think David Adelman should get a lot of credit. Obviously, long been the offensive kind of mastermind in Denver. Certainly, he has more macro and micro control, right, over the principles and the details of the execution as a head coach. You know, as we kind of try to evaluate his tenure, you go, okay, well, the clutch stuff is bad, and you know, there are some things to be concerned about in the defense. If he's also got to then, I think, get a little bit of credit for helping to engineer the best offense of all time and fully unlocking Jokic, you know, even if there's a lot of individual rises that contribute to that.
It's just the fact that this lineup is doing it with two guys that you would never think would be in a greatest offensive lineup of the season ever.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many guys you'd slot in there over P. Watt and Spencer Jones if you're just building a lineup that is going to be the, quote, best offensive lineup. But they've done it with these guys.
I would love it, and I don't think it's going to shake out this way, but I would really love it if AG came back before CB to give a 5-game sample size of Peyton Watson in that spot.
Yeah.
I just am so curious, and I think, to be honest with you, David Adelman has shown a willingness to play different combos and stuff, so I think we'll get to it no matter what. But I wouldn't mind it being a forced, you know, just, all right, it's playing 20 minutes a night for the next 5 games, and we're going to get a look at it because I do think there's something to the combined athleticism of AG and P. Watt around your 3 skill players that would be so fascinating and might just end up being the best lineup.
It's the latest check at Jokic lead a top 5 offense with Adam and Vogt as the 4th and 5th guys.
Yes, I know what to do.
I mean, as far as
Flare
I go,
screen, slip, got it.
and as far as I go, I mean, he won a playoff series with Facu, so why not?
That's just going to be you running around,
hard fouling people.
I mean, honestly, maybe it's entirely possible. He really is something special, man. Anything other thoughts on this one? I think this number's going to fall.
Maybe.
It's gonna, I mean, 139. I don't think it's going to fall like to be bad.
But have they played better teams together?
They have played bad teams. They have played a lot of bad defenses. But it's just like the stuff they're doing, I feel like is going to work against any defense. And I mean, obviously the 2 biggest reasons why it's had so much success is Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray leveling up to the true number 2 option that he is right now. You know, defenses have to pick their poison. And with how the Nuggets are running things and their read and react stuff, it's impossible to guard.
I wonder if here's another theory to kind of wrap up this segment. The Nuggets have more guys that, like, just veteran guys that know how to play basketball. Brucey B, Tim Hardaway Jr., even Peyton Watson, who's been with the system for a while. I wonder if being able to stay in rhythm, because sometimes in years past, the Nuggets would get thrown out of rhythm and it cost them 4 possessions in a row. That doesn't seem to happen to the Nuggets anymore. And I wonder if it's because you make subs and you don't have to change anything. Like, we're weak now.
Yep.
It's just like every second Jokic's on the court, you're playing Jokic ball at a high level.
The bench is not just the non-Jokic minutes, which at times have gotten better. It's that like your first subs are Tim Hardaway Jr., Bruce Brown, guys who just know what they're doing.
Exciting subs.
Subs.
Like even Russ last year, as great as he was, it was like, okay, we're different now. Russ is in. It's a different style.
Yeah, we're the Kings.
We're like if the Kings had Jokic, I guess.
Low.
All right, on the other side, we're going to have our national NBA writer, Tim Cato, join us. He had a great article this week up on all of our websites, including thednvr.com for diehards only, about the Nuggets not forcing turnovers. But maybe it's a good thing?
Oh.
Stay tuned.
Shout out to Bet365. They're a proud partner of the Denver Nuggets, the presenting sponsor of this podcast. And of course, Bet365, they got tons of deals going on all the time. You can hit that QR code right there on the screen. Download the app if you're a new user. Use the code DNVR365 when you sign up and get ready for NFL Sunday. Tons of deals going on. Their football early payout offer is still active with the Bet365 early payout offer. You're a winner if your team goes up by 17 points with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. You got to download the app. Use the code DNVR365 when you sign up. And if you're a new customer, you're going to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use the code DNVR365, deposit $10, place a bet for $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Use those on spread, totals, player prop, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 plus, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Also got to talk about our friends over at Red Hawk Roofing, the best in the business. No job is too small for these guys. So if you have questions about your roof, if you think you might need to get your roof over your home or your business redone, repaired, whatever it might be, give Red Hawk Roofing a call. 720-771-8921, redhawkroofing.com. They'll give you a free no obligation roof and property inspection. They'll give you a free in-depth photo report for all the inspections that they do. The quickest response time, decades of experience. These guys know their stuff, and they'll walk you through a really time-consuming and expensive project like your roof. So give them a call, 720-771-8921, redhawkroofing.com. If you have questions about your roof, if you think you might need to get it done, if you just want them to get out there and check what's going on, give them a call, redhawkroofing.com. Tell them DNVR sent you.
All right, back here, segment 3 of the DNVR Nuggets podcast. Now we welcome in Tim Cato, formerly of DLLS, now the ALLCITY Network, our writer. Cato, what's going on, man?
How are you guys doing today? Yeah, I watched that game last night and just came away with the feeling of professionalism. And so what a delight and a surprise to tune into the show last night or really listen in the morning. To be honest with you guys, but I didn't stay up for it. And just hear that word about 30 times in the first 30 seconds. I loved hearing that. It did feel like that. I did feel like Adam Mares, where I'm like, I'm halfway into the first quarter. I haven't watched the Nuggets in a couple games. I'm looking for something to take notes on, and I'm just like, no, this is a well-oiled machine. This is a dominant, decisive win, and they just kind of marched on.
So I don't know how much you've been watching the Nuggets, but you saw them, I'm guessing, lose to the Dallas Mavericks not too long ago. And Denver is this weird thing. We've seen this in the Jokic era where they can look unimpressive sometimes in like in moments. I think in aggregate, though, they're great. And that's why we always say you kind of have to watch the Nuggets all season long to really get them. You know, now that you've watched a couple of these games, you know, does it linger in your mind, the fact that they lost to Dallas, that they lost to Chicago, some of the low points, or do you kind of just understand the personality of this team? They go through these lulls, but they're really great other than that.
You know, I'm not terribly worried about it. You know, Dallas is a team that is trending up. They're feisty. You know, they've played the most number of possessions. This was a stat on the All NBA feed. The most number of possessions within 1 point of any team in the entire league. This is something that they do. Losing to them, I mean, it's not ideal, but down a couple starters, you know, for Denver, you know, like I've seen the below 500, the above 500 stuff. I know that's a kind of a weird quirk for Denver thus far this season. You know, I guess if I were to tie it into the reason I'm hopping on and a story I wrote today or this week, published it Thursday, just a couple NBA trends that I'm watching. If there is some level of variance for Denver, I think it is just that offense and shot making can sometimes ebb and flow. And I think in that Dallas game, you know, especially Jokic down the stretch, you know, just clearly seemed like he had lost his legs a little bit, was just a little bit more gas than you're used to seeing. Or maybe he just missed shots. Maybe that's all it was. Maybe it was just missed shots. Denver is the leading team in effective field goal percentage in the entire NBA. They are the best shot-making team in existence right now. But I want to say that when you look at a team like Oklahoma City, that defense tends to be a little bit more consistent in terms of, it's not about shot making. It's not about, you know, whether a basketball is going to fly 1 inch too far a few dozen times. You know, it's more about effort. Certainly there's some shot making on the other side that can lead to variance. But one thing I did in a story this week for two NBA trends I'm watching, I've been doing this trends I'm watching piece, is I took 4 factors. You guys are all familiar with 4 factors, I'm sure. Effective field goal percentage, turnover percentage, offensive rebounding percentage, free throw rate. It's you know, if you go to the the NBA stats page. It's got its own subhead, and they kind of track it for both sides. And something I was curious about was, what if I ran basically correlations between all of these stats and every team's win percentage to see which ones are most indicative of winning thus far this season. And what I found was that effective field goal percentage, or how many shots you make, is first overall. That is most indicative towards a winning percentage. It's no wonder Denver is doing very well. It's no surprise that this is first, because Denver just makes their shots. Similarly, what your opponent shoots, effective field goal percentage, that was the second most correlation. Those both had fairly positive correlations to winning.
Well, let me stop you right here real quick, because I want to stop you on part of your thesis here, because I do agree with you that defense is more consistent. Here's the one thing that makes Denver's offense so potent is that they're really good at the areas defenses are designed to give up. Every defense has to decide, do we give up the paint or do we give up the corner, basically? It starts there. And then it's like, what are we most willing to give up? Well, it's the mid-range and it's the floater zone. Well, Jokic loves the floater zone. Jamal loves the mid-range. And their offense is almost designed to put pressure and to get those areas. And most defenses in a playoffs will say, okay, we usually guard the corners, but we have to over-index to get to here. If you over-index to shut down the floater zone or the mid-range, you end up giving up the rim and the three. So it's almost like teams are already giving Denver the thing they're most comfortable with, but Denver's most comfortable with that.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, that's the cheat code. Even when Denver has been, they've been like last season, top 5 in offense and bottom 5 in 3-point attempts. Like even when they
bottom
don't take
1 in
threes.
3-point attempts.
Yeah, I know. Like just dead last, which is not what you think of like a high-powered, high-strung offense in today's NBA.
Right.
But Jokic is that cheat code who just generates 2-pointers at a higher rate than anybody else in the league. I think it is it does project a consistency over the course of the offense, and it's why Denver has been doing so well. What I wanted to bring to you guys, the question I want to ask, is that Denver is dead last in turnover rate. And when I was looking into these 4 factors, the stat, other than shot making on both sides of the court, that most correlates with winning this season is how many turnovers you force. A stat that Denver is dead last in. If you go up and down, dead last. If you go up, like worse than the Wizards, who have a historically bad offense.
I mean, they're not even trying.
Yeah, like Oklahoma City is best in the league at forcing turnovers. But you go and you look at the top 10. It's the Phoenix Suns, it's the Detroit Pistons, it's the Atlanta Hawks, Cleveland Cavaliers, Golden State Warriors, Toronto Raptors, Boston Celtics, Orlando Magic, Portland Trailblazers. That's the first team that's under 500. The Pelicans are in here, but then it's the Knicks, the Lakers, the Miami Heat, the Milwaukee Bucks. Those are pretty much most of the teams that are above 500 this season. And clearly, I am not. So I guess the question is, one of the questions is like is there room for Denver to move up? Is this just a byproduct of their personnel, of their offense? The one thing I'll say before I kick it back to y'all for that is I'm not necessarily sure that turnover rate means you win. It could just be that the winning teams are creating turnovers. There is a moderate correlation based off the numbers I ran between this. It doesn't mean that if you don't create turnovers that you have no path forward. It just means that Denver is an extreme outlier in the statistic in this area this season.
So what do you think? They don't turn it over, but they have this elite offense. You guys got a theory?
Yeah. I mean, my theory is
they don't force turnovers.
Forcing turnovers is one way for a lot of teams to score easy points on the other end, especially in transition. If you think about a team like Portland, right, which maybe on any given half court possession isn't as potent as Denver. Well, they can turn you over and get easy looks at the rim. If you're Denver and you're going to score a lot in the half court, and you know that your defense at its worst is so porous and your point of attack defense is not good, and the way that you guys kind of scramble behind that, maybe there's a certain risk calculation, right? They're not interested in taking that risk to get those easy buckets.
How much better can the offense get? Is it worth the risk where we might get scored on? Yeah.
When we're already not organized enough defensively to begin with.
So I think this is the key to it all, which is a couple fold. One, Denver rebounds, especially defensively. Historically, they've done a great job, especially with Jokic on the floor. And I think Denver in transition off of a rebound is very potent, especially with Nikola Jokic and Aaron Gordon on the court, because you're forcing these cross matches. And when Denver gets you in a cross match, they're going to score in the half court. So I almost wonder if it's more Denver knows their defense is designed a little bit to force you into a lower value shot. When teams get hot from three, that's how they lose. But when Denver does a good job, they're just forcing you into the shots they want. A lot of rebounds, and those transitions are so valuable. So I think it is a calculated decision, but it probably also has to do with when Yoke's on the court, you're not going to generate a ton of steals the way like a switch heavy or trap heavy defense is going to be, where you have Nick Claxton out up on the perimeter or whatever. Yeah. Just because Yoke's going to almost always allow that guy to turn the corner in some capacity without it being stolen.
Yeah. Well, and then last year, I mean, Christian Brown led the league in fast break points per game.
Right. So you don't need the steal. Get it anyway off of rebounds.
For sure. And I don't know what their stats for forcing turnovers last year were. Maybe they did gamble a little more with Westbrook and just the personnel they had. Maybe they felt like they needed to. But I do wonder, just based on what you guys are saying and Tim's stats, maybe it's just the Nuggets being a little conservative defensively. You know, we don't have especially right now, we don't have two of our best defenders. We're down two starters. Let's just pack it in a little more, not go for steals, be a little conservative, just be sound there, and then just try to generate opportunities off misses.
Do you have the list here, Cato? Where do the Lakers rank in forcing turnovers? Do you have it in front of you?
I just switched to last season. Denver was bottom 5 last season in forcing turnovers as well.
Which is crazy because
the Lakers
they were out in transition all the time. Yeah.
The Lakers are 13th.
13th, which I'm a little surprised at, because my other theory is that one way you force turnovers is with athleticism. I mean, that's the biggest thing. And Denver's just not that athletic, although more athletic with Peyton and Spencer in there. But I don't know. I think it's probably just both a trait of their lack of athleticism and a trait of their defensive limitations and how good they are in transition without it, that it's like, yeah, they're naturally fall into this rhythm.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, it will be interesting to track it for the rest of the season too.
And in the playoffs, because some of these teams that force turnovers in the playoffs, you're a little more careful with the ball. Yep. Do you lose one of your super punches when teams get serious?
Yeah. Like, is this a good strategy for the Nuggets right now? I don't know, because they're not ranked that high in defense. They're like 18th right now. Right. So like they're winning games, but is this defensive strategy working?
But this stat is almost more about the offense. Like True. It's like those steals are needed to make your offense palatable over the course of a game. For Denver, it's just not the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, one other thing that I noted with this, the least consequential was opponent free throw rate. And I think we're seeing league-wide that a lot of teams are leaning into a very specific philosophy that they're just going to hack the hell out of whoever they're playing. And if they concede free throws, if they send teams to the line, that is fine. That is, according to the numbers right now so far this season, still small sample size. We're, like a third of the way through this NBA season. But that isn't what, like the best teams in the league are not the ones that send the teams to the free throw line the least. The best teams are the ones that create turnovers. And I do think that we're seeing that league shift along with offensive rebounding. I think throughout the league, there are teams that are just choosing that option. It's not an option that Denver needs to choose. And I think you guys laid it out well. A lot of it is just the efficiency of the half-court offense. When you're that good on that end, it's not as important to try to generate it. Zone defense is also, I think, just inherently not a turnover producing defense, and Denver is fourth in the league in that. I did like last night, one tiny thing I noticed from the win over Sacramento. We're so used to, kind of a 2-3 zone or any hybrid of it starting pretty much at the 3-point line. Whenever Sacramento crossed half court, I like that the zone would push up and just take away, like essentially there was a, free space all along the baseline. But if you're a ball handler with 5 defenders in front of you, kind of in the shell zone, and they're just pushing up into you, towards the midcourt line, that's just using space. That's making it difficult. That was a small little bit from that game that stood out to me. I think that makes sense. Only Second Spectrum only tracked it as 9 possessions. Felt like a lot more than that. But
sometimes it's tough for those types of things. I think it doesn't always track them perfectly. The last thing I'll say here, Denver doesn't foul either. I think they're top 10 and lowest foul rate. And I think that those things are correlated. If you gamble for a steal or you gamble to try to make a play where you might foul a guy or put him on the line, there's this risk of it's worth it if I get it, but not if I don't. And I think for Denver, the worth it if I get it is just lower. And this is part of why because their offense is so good without needing that. And this is why Jokic, when he looks bad, he looks terrible. Jokic is the number one center in not just fouling a guy to make him earn it at the line. If somebody gets by him, Jokic will just let him go. Like Jokic, a lot of guys will just put a forearm, hit him at the line. Guy probably goes 2 of 2, maybe 1 of 2. Jokic almost always concedes those. And even you'll see it in him. A guy will go down the lane for a layup that he could maybe foul him on. Not only will he not foul him, he'll almost play the rebound through the net to get the ball out quickly.
Right.
Of like, my best defense right now is to get the ball quickly and go while this guy's hanging on the rim for a second. It's like, this is how he operates, man. Yeah. Cato, you got anything else? Anything you want to plug?
Yeah, next week I'm going to be publishing a feature about Basketball Reference nicknames. Am I correct that it was the Denver Nuggets fan base that coined for Monty Morris, the
count of Monte assist turnover?
Monte Assisto. That's going to be in the story. A lot of information about how the people behind Basketball Reference and Sports Reference, what they choose to put up there, how they've leaned into at times the internet nature of nicknames, and that's all going to be in that story. So that should be out Monday or Tuesday. Power rankings on Monday. And then we've got a roundtable coming as well, kind of a primer for the trade deadline that all the writers across all the sites are going to jump into.
Mr. Nugget, Aaron Gordon. Make sure DNVR is cited as the creator of it. Cato, good stuff. Thank you so much.
It's in the first draft. It's already in there. I got it down.
Hell yeah. Good stuff.
You, Tim.
You guys can read him. He's writing multiple articles every single week that go up on thednvr.com. It's part of what you get when you become a diehard. It's not just votes articles, occasional article for myself and Wind. You also get Tim Cato, who pulls up cool stats like that. And he does the power rankings. He's been mostly favorable to the Nuggets so far this year, I will say.
It sounds like he's high on the Nuggets, right?
Nuggets have been number 2 in the power rankings as of late.
Which is also like we're saying, like, wow, these guys are high on the, like, every metric would indicate that you should
if you're
be
low
high,
on the
you know
Nuggets,
what I mean?
You're just being an a-hole if you're low on the Nuggets. Guys, 'tis the Jokmas season. Jokmas is upon us. We are just 3 days away. On Monday, it will be our holy holiday, celebrating when Jokic became the starting center for the Nuggets in the cornerstone piece. If you look at the 12 days of Jokmas, the 12 days of Jokmas span from Jokmas, or 12 games, all the way through Serbian Christmas, Orthodox Christmas. There's actually 13 games, but it's always like this little span here. They play 5 games versus the West, 8 versus the East. Isn't that weird? I feel like they've only played the East this year.
Which may be contributing to those favorable metrics.
Probably is, man. Yeah. It's kind of ridiculous, but this continues.
They play the Kings twice, right?
No, they don't play the Kings anymore. Right. They are done with the Kings. But you're not wrong, though. They do play, I think, Dallas twice, and they play Houston twice.
Yep, Houston.
Let me see if it was Dallas. There's another team they play twice that I'll have to. Oh, no, it's Orlando. They play Orlando twice and Houston twice. So go figure. Whatever. But I thought, and 'tis the season, why don't we give some gifts, white elephant style, for Jokmas to each other? If you guys, I don't know how you guys play white elephant gift, but usually you pick a box. You never know what's inside the box, and then behind that box, you open it up, and you keep it, but somebody can steal it.
Correct.
You can either pick a new package or you can steal one that's already there. Kale, how do we decide who goes first?
It's probably up to Kale.
Let's have Vote go first.
So I just open a box.
Which box do you want to?
Tell me which box you want me to open.
I'm partial to the color green, Kale. Give me that solo green.
Oh, right in
box
the middle.
Right in the middle.
Oh, he suckered you into picking that one.
All right, it's a Jamal Murray 50-point game.
Another one. My only thing is I already have one of these at home.
But it is nice sometimes to have one for like the car, and
That's
then you got
right.
one at
Yeah,
home.
that's
So like
right,
sometimes you need one.
You want to bring one for
I've got
travel?
an upstairs and a downstairs. So you never know.
So I can choose to take it.
No, you
No,
keep.
no,
No,
I
you
keep it no
keep
matter
it.
what.
Keep this.
How many steals do you get?
But Wind, just
One
one
steal?
steal.
There's just one steal because we only have 10 minutes.
Okay. Do we have 9?
We have 9 packages, so it'll be 3 rounds.
Okay, there you go.
So it's Adam's turn.
All right, my turn. I'm gonna go with that blue one on the bottom. I like that one because it's got the little snowflakes, blue and gold, just like our beloved Nuggets.
The offense gets even better.
Whoa.
How?
Can you imagine if we look back and are like, remember when the offense was stalling out in early November?
Yeah. Is this just Aaron Gordon comes back?
Yeah.
And now it is 135.
You know what? Offense gets better. I'll take it, man.
All right, so Wind, you can steal either of those or you can open a new package.
Open a new package. Give me that blue one.
Ooh, he also went blue.
Nuggets win on Christmas.
You know, that's pretty nice.
I think they're
That's all right.
3-7. I think they're 3-7 in Christmas Day games all time.
Really?
That's an all right one. Christmas, I mean, it is against the Timberwolves. It is a marquee game. We are going to be here very late.
Yeah. I mean, because if they don't win, that's going to really suck.
That's true. Good point.
Having to trudge home on Christmas with a loss.
All right, back to vote.
All right, so vote. You currently are in possession of a Jamal 50-point game. You can steal either of the others or open a new one.
I'm gonna open a new one. I'll take that Poiple one there, bottom left.
The Lakers one. Of course you would.
AG and CB are back after the Christmas game.
Like after that game.
After that game. So they go on the road trip, the 7-game road trip. But healthy, not like they rushed back.
Right. No, they rushed back. Aaron Gordon it's like game 7 in OKC. No, this is cool.
That's a good one,
That's a
right?
good one.
That would be like
I like
that
one.
road
Yeah.
trip, man. It would be so dope to get the squad back together.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one. Kale, give me the top right. Sweep the Rockets, man. That would be
Okay.
pretty vibey.
Okay.
That'd be pretty vibey. If you go 3-0 against the Rockets, man.
Was it the first year of the NBA Cup that the Rockets weren't even that good yet, but they just had Denver's number? Was that? I think
Shingun always would bring it.
I think they
Yeah,
lost
he'd always
one
bring it
in
against
the
you.
group stage.
I like mine so far.
Okay. So can I steal after I open, or does it?
No, you gotta.
No, you got to use your
steal.
turn.
Okay. Okay, I got one more. I'll take the yellow one.
The Lakers one, of course.
Yeah.
Actually, Nuggets.
No,
What?
Cam John, 20 points per game.
just like from here on out.
Yeah, like
Okay.
for Jokmas for the next
Yeah.
13 games, he basically.
I mean,
has it.
that'd be a cool thing if Jokmas was the beginning of Cam Johnson not looking like he.
That's so true.
Yeah.
We need a Jokmas miracle.
A miracle. I mean, just need a Jokmas
Well,
ask.
this goes along with offense gets better as the Nuggets are doing all of this with Cam Johnson still leaving a little on the table. His screening and cutting is not going to get worse if his shot is on.
Right.
And if he just continues this like he has been, 50% from 3, it'd be incredible, man.
Yeah.
On higher efficiency. All right, vote. Your last one. You can steal or open another package.
Man, I think I'm going to open. I'm going to take the pink one there, Kel.
10-game win streak. 10-game win streak.
I'm not going to finish with that one. I know it.
You know what? I'm going to steal the 10-game win streak.
You son of a gun.
There we go. I got the 10-game win streak. The offense gets better and sweeping the Rockets, man.
Man, this is
So
tough.
the ones that are gray are locked because they've been stolen.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
Well done, Kel.
All
Good
right.
production value here.
The problem is if I open something really good here, it's just going to get stolen, right?
Well, does this mean that vote now opens because I
you,
didn't?
You
Or he
always
goes-
you always do
go
one
through?
round after
Oh,
the
okay.
initial, so people can have a chance to steal.
Gotcha.
Oh,
I already stole those, so
Gotcha.
here I am.
I'm going to steal something here.
Uh-oh.
I'm not really loving my my gift. Give me a Jamal 50-point game.
Oh, hell
Son of a
yeah.
gun. Why'd I even
If Jamal
bother
Murray
opening?
has another 50-point game,
You know
man,
what? You know what? Something I think it happens.
I do too.
I think he has another
he had a
50-point game.
23-point quarter. If he has another 50-point game, man.
Oh wait, Adam was supposed to open a new package because Vote stole his gift.
What did he steal?
Yeah, he stole mine.
I stole his.
So I would get to open again,
Yeah, so
right?
Vote gets to open again,
Oh,
or you can
That's all
steal.
right. He
Or
still
I can
stole.
steal. I can't steal.
Actually,
back,
he's
right?
lost 2 gifts now, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I get to
Yeah,
open
so you
these.
get to open either or
Ooh, I
make
like
a
it.
steal here.
No, let's open them both, Kel.
What did he get?
Pick a triple double.
Hey, up here.
Yeah, dude.
Up
you want
here.
to steal? Do you want another
Up
turn?
here, dude.
Can Adam steal again?
You get. You also got a Jokic Player of the Month.
Oh, I mean that's
That'd
that'd be
just a month.
back-to-back player of the month.
That's
Back
just
to back Player of the Month would be pretty cool.
it would. You guys stole my stuff.
Pick a triple double.
You want to trade, buddy?
Well, now isn't there a steal round now?
Yeah, so now we actually go back to Vote. So there's
I
one round
can
of
steal.
steal. Yeah, you can steal.
I'm going to take Nuggets win on Christmas
Ooh.
because I have wanted to see them sweep the Wolves so badly this year.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
good
the
pick.
underrated part about
And
it.
they're off to a good start.
Good pick.
And a win on Christmas Day would go a
It
long
would
way.
feel like such a good omen to sweep the Wolves. It's
would.
like such a buried the hatchet.
So vote. You ended up
not the
with
same.
Nuggets win on Christmas, Pickett triple-double, and Jokic player of the month.
Now Adam can steal.
What about, don't I have
No, I already
HNCB
stole.
back post
You can only
Xmas?
steal once.
Yeah.
Did I end up with too many?
No, you have it. I have offense gets better. Sweep the Rockets. Cam John 20 points per game. Is that right?
No, I think I have Cam John 20 points per game.
I should have laid this out different.
I
track of
have
this. That's on me.
Cam John 20 points per game, Jamal Murray 50, and I had Nuggets win on Christmas, but Vote stole it. So that means I have.
I turned it. Yeah, I got to steal.
You could take something of his.
Oh, okay.
or from Adam.
I'll take. No, take Jokic, December player of the month.
God damn it.
You have a really bad Jokmas. You have a not that great Jokmas. I got to say, man, offense gets better. I'm so into this. Might be my number one pick on the board. If the offense gets better than it is now.
By 0.1 points per 100 possessions.
Okay, yeah. Even still, if you told me the offense stays as
Right,
awesome
if
it is,
that's the key. It would stay as it is. Yeah.
the Nuggets somehow have a better December. We're just like, well, it'll cool off at some point. Nope, it heats up.
Also, Cam John 20 points per game. If that happens, like the offense is getting better.
You would think.
And we're going on a 10-game win streak.
Maybe there's a finite limit at this point. You know what I mean?
It is
Yeah.
true. How much better can
Yeah.
a freaking offense get, man? But the answer is probably a little bit better. I like all of these. What did you guys get each other for Jokmas? I'll tell you what you should do.
Do you have your Jokmas tree up yet?
We need to put a Jokmas tree up. Well, you know what really needs to happen is you need to come down to the DNVR bar on a Monday. I know it's a Monday. We don't set the calendar. Jokmas happens when it happens. But it's a huge game. The Houston Rockets, national television game, big one, and it happens to be on Jokmas. Get your Jokmas sweater, throw it on, come out to the bar, drink some eggnog with us. Maybe I'll see if the bar can add an eggnog. A Rakia eggnog? Well, that would be terrible.
Oh, that'd be terrible.
I mean, who cares?
Let's try it. You know what? Rakia and eggnog are both separately terrible. You know what I mean? Just throw them together, see what happens.
I'm bringing some eggnog for sure for
Hell
everybody.
yeah.
So gassy. We had any super chats? Just a couple.
Mr. Exquisite Nugget, what's the likelihood of Maul getting All-Star, guys? Higher every day, brother.
Today on the All-NBA show, me and Jason Timpf, who I have on Fridays, we did first-time All-Star predictions. Both of us have Jamal Murray making the All-Star game.
That's pretty
Take
cool.
that for what it's worth.
That's fun.
I'm
Who
doing
else
my
was in
part.
there?
Jalen Johnson,
Yep.
Chet Holmgren. Hate to do it, but tell you can't only
probably
have
need
one.
a couple
You can't
All-Stars.
have one All-Star. Shea will win the MVP just on that alone.
Yeah.
And then who else did we? He had Austin Reeves. I had him on the bubble. His numbers are kind of crazy.
His numbers are ridiculous.
wild. He's probably making it.
And then I put Jalen Duren. I don't know if you guys watch him a lot, but he's just a man-child, man. He's too big for everybody.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
those are
the
my
numbers
first
too.
times.
Pistons really are a fun watch. Carrot Hammer, Nuggets turnovers manifest as yoke outlets from live or dead ball rebounds, like Adam was just talking about.
Yep.
It's the same point generation, just not correlated with the turnover.
I honestly think it's as simple as that, man. Yoke's brain, he does a very good job of connecting one possession to the next. I think everybody views the game very positionally. They scored, then it's our turn, whatever. And I think Yoke looks at it as, oh, they're about to score. Let's start the break.
Let's start the break.
How do I can't stop it on defense, but I can't stop it by getting an outlet pass that just negates it. And now we have a quick two. So I think there's something to it. Kale, hit that outro music.
I guess just want to leave you with this. 15 bulldozed into the paint, though he did not get a whistle, and up his arms flew as he grew prickly like a thistle. But I heard him exclaim ere he drove out of sight, "Happy Jokmas to all, and to all a good night."
Wow.
We all silly like the mayor.